Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tweedy, and today we got some big Mortal Kombat news. Let's check it out. Ed Boon did a little interview, and okay, let's check this out.
Right? So we would keep adding characters, add story, and whatnot. That's so we were pretty sure when we launched Mortal Kombat One that we were going to be doing years of content. And so this is year two, right? It allows us to make characters that were like in his universe. You're going to see some really strange versions of them.
Okay, so it seems like with Mortal Kombat 1, they're kind of approaching it kind of like a kind of like a Destiny type game, because doesn't Destiny like have an expansion like every year or two where they, charge like $40 to $50 for like a big new thing? I feel like MK1's kind of having that approach, and they're selling a bunch of skins. It just seems like WB is trying to maximize profits with this game without having them make a whole new game, Because I'm sure like making a whole new game that costs a whole bunch of money compared to just making an expansion for the same game and just pricing it at like $50. You know what I'm saying? So seems like the strategy that WB and NRS is going with MK1.
Mortal Kombat characters in like chaos versions of them.
Are there any other Easter eggs that are a part of the expansion?
Yes, there's a big one that we're just not announcing. And like when we did the first Mortal Kombat game, we put a character in Reptile, and we never told anyone. We just put it in there. Yeah, our next game will definitely be Unreal 5.
Okay, so they have a big Easter egg similar to Reptile and MK1. So I don't know if this is going to be like a full hidden character, because I feel like obviously they want to sell, they want to make money, stuff like that. So I don't know if they would go with the strategy of having a hidden DLC character, especially if it's a really sick character that people would buy. So I wonder like if, because I have a theory that obviously Havoc is the villain and Chaos reigns, but Havoc is like, he's not really worthy of like being a big MK villain for a game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like on paper, he's not a Shang, he's not an Onaga, he's not a Shao Kahn. But I mean, he's good enough for like an expansion villain. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. So I'm wondering if they're saving Onaga for the next like big game, or maybe even the next expansion. And I wonder if that will be the Easter egg, if Onaga will get teased at the end and that's what they're not revealing. I know there was a Raiko tower ending, and the tower endings, by the way, are all canon now in Mortal Kombat 1. I know there was a Reiko ending where he beat Onaga and like tamed him. But with all these different timelines, I wonder almost if like the Onaga from like Havoc's realm will come into play, or maybe the way this game will end, it will end kind of like the state of like Titans. And if the Titans go away in like the current like landscape of the story, like I'm sure they exist elsewhere. But as far as like Titan Lu, Titan Katana, Titan Havoc, maybe Onaga will rise up at the end and it'll tease like the next thing, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure without the Titans, Onaga's like the strongest character in Mortal Kombat. Just going to the next thing.
Our next game will definitely be Unreal 5 or 6, wherever they're at.
Yeah.
They're gonna catch up.
So he said the next game will be Unreal 5 or Unreal 6. Now we already know that, they were NRS, they were known for releasing games every like 2 years. And a big reason for that is if you look, MK versus DC to MK11, they were all in the same engine. Like MK versus DC, MK9, Injustice 1, MKX, Injustice 2, MK11, all in the same engine. And I'm sure that allowed them to cut corners and release games quicker. Now, they switched to Unreal 4 for MK1, and that made it so the game took way longer to come out. Now, with them doing all these expansions, talking about doing expansions year after year, maybe, and talking about Unreal 5, he said Unreal 5 or maybe Unreal 6, whatever it is. So that kind of implies they're not even working on the new game yet. So it might not be until like, I don't know, like 2029 until we get the next game from NRS. So that's really interesting. So it seems like we're going to be with MK1 for longer than we were with MK11. Um, let's check out the whole interview to see if he says more juicy stuff.
New characters, new story, animalities, you know, all the expansion that we've done with the game.
How difficult is it to work with the new licensed characters? Does the IP protect them from how they die or how they fight?
They're not as protective of how they die. They're protective of how they kill, for sure. They're usually the experience we have is they're excited to see their character.
Okay, so it seems like Thinny, is it Thinny or Thani pinpointed the like actual information that we didn't have already. So one other thing I want to talk about in this video is theories. So here's my theory for this expansion. So I think that the hero at the end of this expansion might end up being a duo of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And the reason I think that is, well, first off, this story seems to be heavily centered around those two, right? So Scorpion, if you see at the end, has the wedding outfit, right? And it seems like they're crashing his wedding in the trailer. Yeah, it seems like they're crashing his wedding.
Oh, you've corrupted the Lin Kuei.
Make no mistake, we are here because of your treachery.
And Sector and Cyrix are coming in. They're from the Lin Kuei. Noob is coming in, who's obviously Bihan. Now, one thing that they're making clear here is Noob is not made out of a dead Bihan. Noob is made out of Bihan being experimented on. So they're making that clear, right? Like, Bihan is not dead. He just got experimented on and turned into Noob. So that tells me that why would they make it so clear that he's not dead, that he's an experiment? I feel like that's because there might be a chance that he turns back to Bihan. Because like the whole thing is like Scorpion beefing with the Lin Kuei, leaves the Lin Kuei, makes the Shiryu, but he was in the Lin Kuei with Sub-Zero. Cyrix and Sector, they're in the Lin Kuei. But it seems to me like they're walking with like Johnny and Scorpion here. So it seems like the Lin Kuei robots, they team up with the heroes to take down Titan Havoc. And despite Bihan, being the way he is, it's not in his best interest to let Titan Havoc run wild, you know what I mean? From what we know, it's in no one's best interest besides Titan Havoc. So I'm wondering if maybe Scorpion beats Noob, because there's this big fight with them in the trailer. Let me see if I can find parts of it.
Though not as you remember.
What did Havoc do to you?
He perfected me.
Not sure where the Scorpion and Noob fight is.
This will be amusing.
Oh, also there's this fight where Liu Kang, Raiden, and Kung Lao are getting shit on by Titan Havoc as well. So that kind of alludes to me that Liu's not going to be the hero this time.
Will the threats from these titans
Or I mean,
never
implies.
cease? Tell me.
Yeah, see, there's this big fight with Scorpion and Noob. I'm wondering if Scorpion wins and maybe undoes the experiment. And you might be like, well, Tweedy, if Titan Havoc is beating Liu Kang, then how will Scorpion and Sub-Zero stand a chance? I don't know. I mean, I feel like they maybe could steal, because here's the thing, right? So Havoc made him into Noob. He made him into, like, his perfect experiment. So maybe he'll, like, disguise as Noob, like, act like he's still Noob, and then steal, like, some of the Kamidogus or whatever Havoc has on his chest. And maybe Scorpion and Sub-Zero will use those to power up and fight Havoc and beat him. And I mean, you gotta remember, this game is MK1 after all, so I feel like it would be very fitting if in at least one of these expansions, Scorpion and Sub-Zero were the heroes. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. That's just an early theory, you know. We might learn more that makes that theory sound dumb. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments down below. And let me know about that news let me know what y'all think about that news we heard from Ed. And my YouTube's been doing great lately. Appreciate everyone. Much love. Later.